Now I think we're seeing why the Niners are holding on to Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't really say nice things about him. They're like, yeah, we're fine with Jimmy. We're cool with Jimmy. And then they keep him on the team. Why? Well, Carson Wentz, who got benched, got a third and a conditional 2 that could become a 1. Can the Niners get something like that in the next couple of months for Jimmy G? Why or why not? Support your answer with facts. I want chunk paragraphs.
All right, hold on. I wrote it somewhere here. I was prepared. Maybe it's over here. No, I don't think they can get necessarily that, but maybe you sprinkle on something different. Maybe instead of it being conditional, I feel like for sure. But I feel like maybe the 49ers would have to probably throw in a kicker and sort like maybe a swap picks, depending on who the team is. I think the only reason why they won't get somewhere near what the Wentz did is because of that familiarity with Frank Reich. So, of course, and that was a quarterback-desperate team. The 49ers necessarily aren't a quarterback-desperate team. So, at least with Frank, it's like, hey, Carson Wentz, I coached this guy. I know he can operate a system. I could probably prop him up to getting somewhere where he was back to a few years ago. So that's why I think. And then who's the familiar team that with Garoppolo, the Patriots, and they're not going to go. They're not going to sniff anywhere near this conditional, especially if they could think there's even a slight chance that maybe the 49ers cut him. That's why
also
I like
Chicago.
Yeah, also Chicago, or maybe, and I'll still throw out there, I feel like Washington perhaps, maybe somewhere outside the stadium, just because they know, like, hey, this is someone, we have a game-managing quarterback, and then when we have the defense, because they know that formula worked for him in 2019. So I don't think it could be a similar package and such like that. It'd be more about familiarity. Other than that, I still am held firm that I think the best 49ers can get for him is a 4th-round pick, and that's only because of his contract. It's friendly in terms of like Carson Wentz.
Here's my notes for you, Grant. I think they can't get a Carson Wentz similar package just because I think there isn't a team that wants Jimmy Garoppolo as much as Frank Reich apparently loves Carson Wentz. And that's not saying the Patriots don't want Jimmy Garoppolo, but to risk trading a 1st-round pick is a pretty heavy risk, in my opinion. I think a 3rd-round pick or a conditional 2nd, where the same thing with what Carson Wentz is doing, where if he plays all 16, they get a 1. If it's the same thing and they get a 2, I think that's a win for the 49ers if they choose to move on. With the dwindling options, though, Jimmy Garoppolo is slowly becoming one of the better options available if a team wants a veteran.
Yeah. I look at Carson Wentz's resume and I look at Jimmy Garoppolo's resume. What's the difference? I mean, they both had one good season where they went 13-3. Wentz got hurt, couldn't finish it out. Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl and lost. I mean, I think their resume is quite similar. Jimmy's a year older. Carson Wentz is more physically gifted, but that hasn't really helped him be consistent. I think if the Eagles could hold out for that 3 and a conditional 2, the Niners might get close to it. And it's tough because you're trading with the Patriots and they play hardball. But if you can create a little bit of a bidding war with Chicago, I mean, 3 and a conditional 2 isn't a lot. I mean, it's less than what you gave up for him, right? It's less than what you could have got for him last year. It probably feels like we lost the trade, but I think it's the best they could do. And if they could get it, maybe they make that trade sometime around the draft. I don't know. I think the problem to me is that the Patriots feel like they have an ace up their sleeve with this Mac Jones
Maybe
guy.
They do really like him because the more I feel like, wasn't there just someone tweeted or wrote about saying the Patriots got Brandon Cooks for Bill Belichick got him for Garoppolo? So he really loved that guy. I mean, all of it's out there we all know about. So maybe he loves it enough. Like, hey, something close to that Wentz deal might be something I'm willing to do. Yeah.
Well, I think now that this is in stone and we know what Wentz is worth, the Niners at least have to call the Patriots and be like, can we talk? I mean, the way they can structure it is whatever the conditional 2 is. Like, what are the conditions? Maybe they're tougher to meet than the ones they are for Carson Wentz. Like maybe he would have to win the Super Bowl for it to be a 1st-round pick. But this has to be some way for the Niners to save face. It could be a 1. It could maybe be a 1. But that's it.
I don't know. Do you know who has Brandon Cooks right now? If Jimmy Garoppolo likes Brandon Cooks.
Who?
Houston.
Oh, God.
That's not happening. I was just joking. But